Well, there's a problem you get, when you work on an engine for someone you consider a good friend, and and you do what you think is the best you can do. This is a Hudson. You see the tail lights. There is a backup light, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I don't like the way he's moved the harness to the above, but that was his choice. He had a very ornate firebox that I built for him. Now he kind of hides it, but the firebox is still doing what it's supposed to. He wanted the sounds to be able to come out. So we did, as you can see, drilled some holes in his coal load. But boy, the sound comes out, doesn't it? He didn't really want me to clean it up or do too much, which is fine with me. I can get that. Now, I took the boiler front off and I took the smoke out because the smoke wasn't coming out, but there is smoke in there and it's coming out. But it's leaking in the smoke housing. And from what I can tell, he's got the vintage smoke housing, but he has one of my trick smokes. I'll show you. One of my trick smokes is where I put a fan and a fan blade in the back of where the piston goes and drive the smoke out with a fan, getting a pulse from some electronics. This is basically what he has in there. And now he doesn't have any of this. And now it's leaking smoke somewhere. It could be leaking it out the side here or out the lid. So I have to fix that for him. But he says, I know you're working on all kinds of new stuff, so, just put your magic into it. And I'm thinking, right? Did you hear that chuff? That sound is from Electric Railroad soundboards, and his control is from Electric Railroad TMCC control board. Those boards are about, if you can find them, about $300. But we're not going to improve that with anything I have yet. This is my goal to do that for $25 and $50, but we're not there, okay? He has a Timco motor, which has a flywheel, which is a DC can, which is a nice big DC motor. My motors are good, but the Timco motor was $45. I have one left right there. And my motor's $25. So he went, while he didn't do the paint and everything else, he went with the high-end parts. What I can improve on considerably is the smoke, for sure. I think his firebox, because he's got it all cut up, is pretty much the way it is. And it works. Look at it. It's beautiful. His rear end is fine. I haven't tried reverse. I don't know if I can. There, we got reverse. Look at that. He's got his backup light. If I go now, there we go. Now we're in reverse, you see. So he's got his backup light and his tail lights. Headlights still on. That's okay. It's just a choice he had. But now he's backing up. The chuff is just heart-wrenching, isn't it? Because here we are hitting a nail with a hammer, and we're thrilled. This is a $125, $150 soundboard, a $150 controller with a $25 speaker. Yeah. This is my goal. I'd like to get to this, but it's just not there. At any rate, I have to work on this for him. is a very, very good friend, and he's moving away, and he wanted it tuned up before he left, and I've been sitting on it too long. So, while I'm waiting for parts, I think I'll work on Joe's engine, his K325. Now, I did get parts in. Probably exciting parts are these transistors, 102, 107 transistor, and they have an amp rating of 8 amps. The ones we have been using have a rating of 3 amps. So we're now looking at what can I build that can power this guy the way it needs to be powered, to see if it's got anything for us or not. That's one thing. The other thing is, if I do get into the bigger motors, am I going to have a controller that can handle them? And this is a yes. This would be our heavy duty or super duty, I guess you could say, super duty. This is the Hemi version of our transistors for motion control. There is a 427 Chevy, which Dan is working on now, and what we have currently is the 327, I guess you could say, 3 amp, and it works fine, but if you overload it, it'll get hot, and that's what we want to prevent. We want to offer that higher capability if we can, and it's a nickel, right? It's nothing. So we're building that. I did get some Hall effects, but they were chips. They weren't functional boards, so I've ordered some functional boards with Hall effects in them, so that now I'll get a pulse out that I can use. The chips that I did get, you have to build a circuit and you have to condition the output so that it comes from the power, but it's a certain level, and so your digital can read it. Well, don't want to. I'll buy a board, test it. If it works, we'll buy it. I'm pretty sure it'll work because this is what they do. I've been working on my 6-wheel trucks because they were a little wonky. I found some location things that were just a little off. I wasn't as precise as I needed to be. I was precise in my assembly of the axles. I've got them now where I know what width they need to be and gaps and things like that so that they will fit and roll. But when I put in my jumper wire to take the power off, I was not real precise, and that needs to be more precise for the clearance needed. I have I don't know if you can see right down in there, there's a black wire, 2 black wires going up, and they go behind the wheel. See where they join right there? They go behind the wheel. Right now it doesn't look like it touches, but as I get rolling down there, this thing rocks and rolls a little bit. This one was close too. They will rub on the inside of that tire and they act just like a brake. Now the train can pull it, everybody else is rolling, and he's just rolling real slow, draggy, and I don't like that. I want him to be smooth, pick up power, but don't create a problem doing it, okay? So I'm working on these. I printed some new side, I know, the red was, I was in a red mood. I'm in a red mood now because I've got 4 or 5 rolls of that. I got to use it up. So anyway, I'm printing red now. I've got some beautiful black side frames. And then I also did a comparison with these side frames on the Hudson, because they're really, kind of the standard for us. But as you can see, I've got the dimensions dead on. I've got my width for the wheel setting is perfect. I've got to work on where my pivot point is, but and then that is going to affect how my axle fits. So I got a little bit of a problem, but I really wanted to get more of this shape. So I think I'm going to take this side rail, and I'm going to cut it in half. So it's going to be a very flat and no detail. Cut off all this detail and just slide it over, make a duplicate, and then start pulling detail out that mimics the Hudson. I don't recall the Northern. I think the Northern's the same, if I'm not mistaken. So fine, I'll do this in a Northern approach and see how that comes out. Go from there. That's the plan. And as you can see, it doesn't show springs like mine, but it has that look, you know, like there is some suspension back there. You just don't know it. Okay, fine. I can do that. I think I can do that pretty easily, and then print it in black, and then just I'll have my coil spring thing. Like, I don't know where I got that idea. I thought I saw it on a calendar of a steam engine or something. I don't know. At any rate, work on that. We're waiting on some sensors for this guy, and I just sent the second powered rollers out to Ed for testing, and I'm working on these, and I'm printing another set of powered rollers for myself to do some testing, and I'm printing these in red. I have 5 rolls of that red. Whether you like it or not, you're getting it for a little while. And I have other colors I can work into, and when I get Joe's engine done, and that's not going to be a major, it's going to be a smoke, and I don't think I'll even do his tenders unless he really wants me to, but I think it's just going to be a smoke and just clean the electronics up and make sure that's reliable, because I want to get back on Tim's O-gauge flyer, because we already had smoke on it once. We know that works, and I think to have that engine running with our stuff in it right down the pipe would be fun. I think that would be fun. It might let some other O-gauge guys with flyer know, hey, we can jack up your engine if you want. I think that'd be neat. Okay, so let me get back. Looks like I'm gonna have to take his engine down. You know, some things you have to do, and just do it not right. You know, you have a clean table, trays, zip bags. You take everything off, put it in a bag, mark it Joe's engine, and keep it straight. And so you can put it all back together. I might buff his linkage. I don't know why I let it go out like that. I guess maybe that was before I was into buffing linkage, but I think even if you left it dirty, look, he's missing this railing here. He doesn't have it on the other side either. I don't know what that's all about, but at any rate, I am going to buff that linkage. You just cannot have shiny metal that's not shiny. I think that's just terrible. That ought to help. Maybe the railings too, because he's got nice railings. He's got them all. Look at that. Yeah, let's deck it up a little bit and give him some bling and make that smoke come out the top like it's supposed to. I'll see if I have room for a smoke heater controller. I just can't remember what I put in there. Once I get it apart, I'll know. If you guys want to see it, let me know. I'll be happy to show you how the big engines, the big money engines, are put together. 2-3 years ago is what we had to do, and I just stopped. I didn't like it. I didn't like putting so much money in a stupid toy train. Come on. And so now I'm spending all this money on this other crap. Anyway, that's it. I'll send this up and let you guys chew on it a little bit. I want to let you know I wasn't just eating bonbons off in a corner. Okay, later.